Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. Asus made its way back to the budget segment of the smartphone industry by launching the Zenfone Max Pro M1 last year. It was one of the best phones out there under 15,000 rupees because it offered great specs at a very affordable price point. Now, despite the Max Pro M1 being so great, it had its cons, and have Asus fixed those cons in the Max Pro M2? Well, to some extent they have. So right off the bat, as soon as you pick up this phone, you are gonna notice that the display is awesome. It is an IPS LCD panel, full HD plus. It is bright enough so that you can use it outdoors, and the colors are awesome as well. It does come with a notch because that was the trend in 2018, but the good thing over here is that the notch is not that big. Like, it's not too much into your face, it's an acceptable notch, and I don't mind it because I'm way past the notch scenario. So yeah, I don't mind a notch in phones these days. Regardless of the notch, the display panel itself is very good and you'll have a great time watching movies, playing games, or in general navigating through the UI. Now the cherry on the cake over here is that the display is covered by Corning Gorilla Glass 6. So you get that extra durability with this phone, and this feature is very rare in the budget segment. That's why it gets a big fat thumbs up from my side. Now the Zenfone Max Pro M2 is jam-packed with very interesting specifications: Snapdragon 660, 3 or 4 GB of RAM, 32 or 64 GB of internal storage, and also a dedicated micro SD card slot. So yeah, this phone has 2 SIM card slots plus a micro SD card slot, which is awesome. This feature is also present in the Samsung Galaxy M10 and M20 phones, which is a good thing. But Xiaomi doesn't give you this option, so maybe Xiaomi can learn from these companies and give a dedicated micro SD card slot at this price point because it's kind of important. Now one thing to note over here is that the Snapdragon 660 processor on this phone is not to its full potential. It is an underclocked version of the processor, but that does not mean that it's going to affect the performance that much. Like day-to-day tasks like checking email, replying to WhatsApp messages, or just browsing through Instagram are going to be very easy because Snapdragon 660 performs really well. Where you will notice a difference is in terms of gaming performance. So yeah, if this phone had the full clocked version of the processor, then obviously it would perform better in gaming, but it's gonna be a minor difference and you should make a note about it. One more thing that plays an important role when it comes to performance is the software, and I'm glad to say that this phone comes with stock Android. One letdown over here is that it comes with Android Oreo out of the box and it still hasn't got the Pie update. So yeah, Asus, you have to push out the Pie update now. January has gone by, February has started, so please push out the Pie update soon. But regardless of that, the phone's performance is actually very good because there is no bloatware whatsoever. You don't get ads, you get clean software experience, and I have to say that I'm loving the software experience on the Zenfone Max Pro M2. Now to back this great performance, this phone comes with a massive battery. So it has a 5000 mAh battery which will easily last you for 1.5 to 2 days. Now some people out there have a complaint that the battery is draining too fast, like this phone has battery drain issues, but I haven't faced any battery drain issues in my period of testing. So I used this phone for over a month and I did not face any battery drain issues. So yeah, if there is an issue, then I would recommend you to go ahead and have it checked at the Asus service center. But for me, the battery life has been working awesome. I'm constantly getting a screen on time of about 7 to 8 hours, which is great. And at this price point, it is a very compelling feature. So if you are looking for a good phone with a great battery life, then this phone is definitely one of the best options out there. Now let's talk about the design and build quality of this phone. I absolutely love the design of the Max Pro M2 because it looks stunning. It has this glossy finish at the back. It is a plastic back panel, by the way, which I do not mind because at this price point I'm not complaining about the plastic back panel. And the shine that you get over here is awesome. Like when you rotate it at different angles, you get different gradients, which looks really cool in my opinion. Also, my favorite color is blue and this one comes in blue. So yeah, a thumbs up for that. So now let's get to the point that you all have been waiting for, the cameras on this phone. Like, how well does the cameras perform? Well, before I actually talk about the camera performance, let's just go ahead and talk about the sensors present on this phone. So this phone comes with a dual camera setup at the rear side. One is a 12 megapixel primary one with an aperture of f1.8 and the secondary one is a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. On the front side of things, you get a 13 megapixel sensor with an aperture of f2.0. Now that we've talked about the numbers, how do they translate into actual performance? Well, there's one big barrier between the actual sensor and the final image, that is the camera application. This was a big problem in the Zenfone Max Pro M1 because the camera app wasn't good at all, and this problem is still being carried over to the Zenfone Max Pro M2. They have improved the camera application from the previous generation, but it is still not optimized. But regardless of the camera applications, the pictures do turn out to be really good. Like, they would have been better if they had included a better camera application, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. So with the camera application that you get right out of the box, you're gonna get some really good pictures for this price point. The dynamic range is good, the colors are awesome, and even the detail level is good on the pictures. I've made a dedicated video about low light photography with the Zenfone Max Pro M2, and in case you missed that video, I'll make sure to drop a link to it in the I button over here and also in the description box below. So please go ahead and check out that video if you want to see a wide range of low light shots. But long story short, this phone performs good in terms of low lighting conditions. It's not the best out there, but it does perform decent enough. As far as the front camera goes, the story is the same. It's not the best out there, but it is good enough. So if you are wondering that if the front camera is bad, then it's not bad. You can actually click some pretty decent selfies with the help of the front camera on the Zenfone Max Pro M2. Now, one place where I absolutely love this phone is in terms of the speakers. The sound quality coming out of this device is awesome. It is very loud, and you also get a decent amount of bass. I've been having a really good time listening to music on this phone. Like, earlier I used to connect this phone to my Bluetooth speaker, but then one day I forgot to connect it, and then I realized that the speakers on this phone are inherently very good, and that's a big thumbs up from my side. The Zenfone Max Pro M2 also retains the headphone jack, which is awesome because we are seeing that the headphone jack is disappearing from everywhere, but this phone still has it. And at this price point, having a headphone jack is kind of important because people are not ready as of yet to shift to wireless earphones or Bluetooth earphones for that matter. So now let's get to the question that who is this phone for? So if you're looking for a good phone out there that performs excellent, has great battery life, and comes with stock Android, then this phone is a perfect fit for you. On the other hand, if you are looking for a camera centric phone, then I would not recommend the Zenfone Max Pro M2 because the Mi A2 just got a huge price cut. It is available for 14,000 rupees right now, and that is a camera centric phone, and it performs better than the Zenfone Max Pro M2 when it comes to the cameras. I have made a dedicated comparison video between the Mi A2 and the Max Pro M2, so if you want to watch that video, again, I button, link in the description. Also, I will be buying the Samsung Galaxy M20 on 5th of February. That's why stay tuned on the channel. I will make a comparison video between the Max Pro M2 and the Samsung Galaxy M20 as well. So anyway, that's been it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this video helped you out in some way or the other. And if it did, then please let me know about that in the comment section down below. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe below. It would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi. I'll see you guys in the next one.